Hey guys, welcome back for another episode or video. Please make sure you're watching the video version of this because we are doing a mukbang. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Yes, we've got GYG here and Macca's Biscoff frappes that we're going to try. They are... Have you tasted yours yet? Oh. We'll try it on camera for you guys. But yeah, what did you get? Tell them your order from GYG. Basic class order.
So I got chips, and then I got a chicken burrito bowl with everything off it. So just rice and chicken, and then avocado, and this herb and mayo, and it's actually delicious.
Okay, let's try the Biscoff frappes from Macca's. Go. They're fucking room temperature. They taste like Gloria Jeans.
I rate it a 6.5 out of 10.
I reckon it would be a 7.5 if it was cold. So today we're going to be doing a mukbang whilst also talking about daddy issues. So
Even though people make jokes about it, it is a pretty serious topic. We will be making jokes, but I'm just putting it out there that it is pretty serious, and it does affect people.
both of us don't have our actual dads in our lives. One of us has a stepdad, the other one doesn't. Both of us have had stepdads at some point though. But yeah, I'm going to let Lakeisha, who is my guest on this podcast, haven't even fucking introduced her. This is Lakeisha, guys.
I'm the best friend. I'm the little sister she never had. I'm the one who basically makes her life the best thing in the whole world. So
Yeah, I was just thinking more so like, what's your age? She's 16 and unemployed, guys. She's taken as well. That's another status.
I love you, sweet.
Yeah.
I love my boyfriend so much. I actually love him.
Sorry for all the headphone users. That probably just... Are these my chips? Yes. Okay. Anyone out there that's listening that doesn't have a father, this one's for you. This one is for you.
And we love you, and we understand what you're going through.
But if you don't have a father, whether your father is in and out of your life, as meaning that he sometimes sees you, sometimes doesn't, whether he's in your life still and he's just, toxic, or whether...
He's not in your life at all.
Yeah, whether he's just not in your life at all. It's for all of you. So I'm going to hand the mic to Lakeisha, and she's going to basically talk about her story with her dad and where she is now and how she feels it affects her everyday life and has changed the type of person or made the type of person that she is.
Yeah, so I've never really had my biological dad in my life. Unfortunately, he made some pretty stupid decisions and was in and out of jail, and still is to this day. From me being born, my first birthday, he wasn't there because he was in jail. From what I know, it has only been 3 times. It has affected me. Obviously, the first time, I was only a baby. I didn't really understand. But I think, being a kid, you still know. Not having someone that's supposed to be there isn't there, if that makes sense. The second time, I was 10 years old. I didn't have anything to do with him then either. Mostly just over the phone. But still then it wasn't really, that much communication. Yeah, it definitely put a toll on my mental health knowing, he wasn't even going to be there to know I was going to go into high school in the next year or so. I don't know what he's up to now. I don't know if he's in jail, not in jail. I don't know. I do have a story time for you though, to make it a bit more fun. Story time on how he got arrested. Yeah, so little story time for you guys. I don't remember how old I was. I think this was the second time or the third time. But he was arrested for a drug bust. It's not funny. It is now. Now that I sort of understand and, I know that my life is way better without someone like that. So it was actually half a kilo of ICE. Not very good. Come on, Dad. I think you can do a bit better than that. He was also caught with almost $100,000 in a rental car. Being almost 40 years old when this happened, you'd think he'd have his own car. But once again, good on you. I mean, you do what you got to do. It definitely affected me going into high school, seeing all my friends with their dad and, having the relationship that I always wanted to have. But lucky, my mother found a man who took care of me as his own, and I'll be forever grateful for that. I really do appreciate being able to have somewhat of a father figure in my life, seeing as my father couldn't really step up to the plate. But yes, I am very grateful for him. Shout out to you. Definitely love you. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about him because, I don't, yeah. All I know is he's a felon. It's definitely hard. I'm almost 17 years old. He hasn't been in my life in a very, very long time. Barely at all. But even now I think about it and I have my mum who is such a superwoman and I love her so much. Shout out to all the single mums out there. You are doing so amazing and you deserve literally everything. And all the stepdads that step up to the plate, taking care of kids who aren't yours, loving them like they're your own. As I said, being a girl without her dad around, it's hard. I don't know. I feel it has its ups and downs. Being the way he is, I'm glad I don't have him around because my life would be so much different than it is now. But having my stepdad around is so great. As I said, it's so great to have a father figure around, but it's so different. Even though he's been with us for a long time, he's been with me for a long, long time. It's just different. You can try as hard as you can, but you'll never have the bond a daughter and a father will have with someone who's not fully biological. And you can try and try and try. And I know our bond is so great, but I just feel if, my father wasn't who he is, it definitely would have been a better relationship to have.
But yeah, I feel like it's better off for the both of us that we don't have our fathers in our lives. I definitely, it's hard because I have a single mum. I don't have any stepfather with me, so it's just me, my mum, and my little brother. And as much as I would love a father figure, I say I would love a father figure. I don't say I would love my father in my life because my father being my life would be terrible. I don't want that. I love my life how it is. Of course, it'd be great to have a father, but not my father. So that's just how it is. And yeah, my situation is, obviously I don't have my father. I don't really know too much about him. I try not to fill my brain with that sort of stuff knowing about him. All I know is that he's been out of my life, in and out of my life ever since I was little. I think he left my life when I was around 2. There was a lot of threatening to take me away and roam away with me, and he was just a bad person. He did a lot of bad things to my mum, and my mum just left, which I'm so happy that she did. because a lot of women don't leave, and then they're miserable and their kids are miserable. So I'm so grateful that my mum left.
I also feel like when you're a mum and you have a kid and you're in a, you know, a household or a relationship that is just not good and you're not strong enough to get out of there for yourself, they're always strong enough to get out of there for their kids. And I love that for every woman out there who has been through stuff like that. My mum was the exact same. Like, the abuse was absolutely horrendous. Like, I would never wish that upon anyone. And the fact that she actually got out of there for my safety, let alone her safety, is the best thing she could have ever done, because our lives would have been totally different, and I'm sure it would have been the same for you as well.
But yeah, there was 10 years there where I didn't see him, and then I found out that he had another child. That was very hard for me to hear. I remember hearing that when I was maybe like 8 or something, and I remember crying and then getting over it and then being happy. There's a lot of mixed emotions, but I then remember being happy that I had a little sibling. I ended up meeting that sibling, and then he had another child, another little girl. So the first one was a boy, then a girl. And then, I started to get to know them, and then they left again, went out of my lives again, and then came back. At this point, I was old enough to just be like, I don't want to see you anymore. This is my choice now, and I don't want you to just keep... He said something that really triggered me, and I just basically said to my mum, I don't want contact with him, because the main reason why I was seeing him around when I was 14 or 15 was because I wanted to have that relationship with my siblings, not to do with him. But I ended up having to sacrifice that relationship with my siblings, because getting involved with him it's not easy to just see my siblings without having to get involved with him and his bullshit. And then I've also had a stepdad. He's also not as good as Lakeisha's stepdad. He's just as bad as my dad, maybe even worse. Like, he never ever made the effort to have a relationship with me. So my mum met this guy, and that's where my brother came from. So I've got my half brother. Sometimes some of you seen him on my TikTok. Yes. Speaking of the devil. Okay. Okay. Thanks for telling me where my stepdad is from. You don't talk unless spoken to. And so my mum just was not going to be putting up with that, and I'm so glad, because I honestly, for those 3 years, I didn't know it then, but I felt so uncomfortable in my own house. And I just felt like I couldn't. It was just that person there that was not warm and fuzzy, and it was just really bad, toxic. And yeah. Now both of them are out of my lives. But now that we've now that we've gotten our, I guess, little stories out of the way, I'm gonna talk about like daddy issues.
Actually, just very quickly, I hope our stories, even though not as bad as a lot of things that's going on in the world, but I really hope that someone can understand, and then hopefully after this you'll be able to understand yourself, understand your story, the way we are, trying to understand our own. And I feel talking not on a podcast or on TikTok or on YouTube, like even just to someone that you're close with, it definitely helps a lot. Talking, even if it's just a little thing that's affecting you, it's good to put it out there.
I want to talk about the real daddy issues, because daddy issues is a thing. Like, as much as people want to make it a meme, it is a fucking thing. Girls that don't have a dad have fucking issues in relationships, and I'm talking to you as well.
Well, actually, my boyfriend's younger than me, so...
That's not what I'm talking about. Okay.
I love him.
She just proved it right now, right? Daddy issues, the meme or whatever, the trend is like girls that don't have dads, they try and date older men. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about attachment issues. And let me...
I hate leaving my boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Let me talk about it, because I have already been in and out of a relationship, and I felt like I have realized so much about why I wanted a boyfriend so much, or like why I feel like I need a boyfriend so much. And it's because if you're a girl out there that doesn't have a father or doesn't have any sort of father figure, shut up, figure in, you're ruining it.
Ow.
Anyways, if you're a girl out there who doesn't have a father or doesn't have any father figure in their lives, tell me if I'm right or not, but male attention is more validating than if someone compared to if they did have a father. Like, that male attention is very, very hard to say no to, and it's craved. And once you get it and you find a boyfriend and you get in a relationship like both of us have been in and you're still in one, it's very, very hard. Even if that boyfriend is toxic, even if he, does shit to you, when even the reality is that you guys should break up, it's harder for someone that doesn't have a father to do so, because they're just going to say goodbye to that. They don't have their father that they're telling them that everything's going to be okay. They're going to find someone else. They're loved no matter what. They don't have the father there telling them that they're beautiful, that they're worthy, nothing. Like, as much as a mum can fill that role, it's different when it comes from your father. Like, I don't think both of us have heard our father call us, you're beautiful, you're worthy, and, you deserve a guy that shows you love. We don't hear that. Fathers that don't show their daughter love and affection and, tell them that they're worthy of everything in this world and that they don't have to settle for, their first relationship or whatever guy they find first, it's hard. And that's why I feel like it's so fucked up when you get out of a relationship and you're going through a breakup and you don't have a father there. That's really hard, because your mum is there to just nurture you, but your father is also there to be like, fill that void, I guess.
Tell you that it's gonna be okay. And sometimes it's not. And that's okay. It's okay to not be okay.
Girl, shut the fuck up. You thought you ate that?
Shut up. And then I'm constantly thinking, because I also don't have an image, or I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. So literally in my head every day I'm like, well, I'm just going to have to be a single mum, because that's all I'm used to now. I'm used to my mum raising us on her own, and that's how I feel like I'm going to have to live. Even if I, get in a relationship and I have children, I'm literally always prepared to be a single mum. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen anyway, and that's so sad to say that, but it's the truth. And because I know there are good men out there, but when you're raised by, well, you're not raised, but like, you don't have any good men in your life, it's hard to fucking believe it, and to believe it when you even see it.
Like, I know one of my mom's biggest regrets is having a relationship with my dad, because it's put that toll on my life and her life, everything she went through. Like, I'm so proud of her, of everything she's overcome and the way she's, told her story through everything. And it's so great to see mums and your mum, act the way they do, knowing they've been through all these things. Like, we love you guys so much.
Yeah, I love my mum so much, and I'm just so proud that she left both times. Like, the first time, yes, but the second time even more so, because she could have been like, you know what, I'm just going to stay with this man because my kids deserve a father. It's better to have them out of our lives than in our lives. That can always be the best situation. That's why it's always better to have, it can always be better to have your fathers out of your life than in your life. And if they are out of your life, then you just find coping mechanisms to deal with it, and you just cut. You can fix it. I don't. If any girls are out there right now and they're in a relationship or they're going through a breakup and you think it's a little bit harder than what you interpret it to be, and you have no father or you have a shit father in your life, just know that might be the cause. And I think it's easier to have that clarity and that, what's it called? Because they want, I saw that coming from a mile away. But yeah, it was closure for me for when I was going through a breakup, to know that the reason it hurt so much more than I thought it would is to know that I felt like I had to go back into that relationship because I craved that male validation. And once I left the relationship, I realized how much of a void I had of it. Like, the void of my father not being in there was temporarily filled with my ex being in my life. And then when he left, I discovered that hole. But I didn't know that hole was there or hurt so bad when he wasn't in my life before. And then when he came and left, that's when I discovered it. And now I've learnt, instead of going and finding a new relationship to fill it back up with, I'm going to try and, heal it and love myself and go on with my life with that hole in my life. Not trying to fill it, but trying to live with it. Us girls that don't have fathers, we need to have extra love for ourselves because we don't get a lot of it. Only from our mums and sisters and brothers. Okay, so like this video if you have no father like us.
Like this video if you have a father.
No.
Why?
Well, that's obvious. We're trying to just stop. Like this video if you don't have a father like us. No. Like this Like this video if you have daddy issues like us. Raise your hand if your father has ever been committed of a crime. Anyone else? Okay. Make sure you tune in for our next episode.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.